Prayer is often misunderstood. For many, it is seen as a ritual, an act of speaking words to God in hope of receiving something in return. But prayer is far deeper, far more significant than that. It is a profound communication and expression of relationship and a tool for personal transformation. At its core, prayer is about connection. It is a means of aligning ourselves with the divine purpose, a way to access the wisdom, peace, and power that are available to us all. Prayer is not about telling God what to do, but about listening carefully to the whispers of the Spirit and aligning our will with divine intent. In prayer, we enter into a sacred dialogue, a conversation where we speak, but also where we listen. We come with our hearts open, not merely to ask, but to learn, to grow, and to be transformed. In prayer, we discover who we truly are. It is in those moments of quiet communication that we hear the voice of our Creator, reminding us of our true identity and the purpose for which we were made. Prayer helps us to remember that we are not mere mortals struggling through life. We are created with divine potential, with the ability to tap into an inexhaustible source of wisdom, strength, and peace. It is also in prayer that we find our authority. Prayer is not just an act of submission, but one of empowerment. Through prayer, we access the divine authority that is within us, enabling us to create, to shape our reality, and to influence the world around us. When we pray, we are not begging, but asserting our rightful place as co-creators with the divine. But prayer is not only for the individual, it is for the collective. When we pray together, we create a spiritual synergy that brings about greater change than when we pray alone. Collective prayer has the ability to shift entire communities, nations, and even the world. When people unite in purpose, in prayer, they release a power that can transform the very fabric of society. When we engage in prayer, we align ourselves not just with our own desires, but with the higher calling of the universe. It allows us to see beyond our limited understanding and discover the greater plan that awaits us. In prayer, we find purpose. In prayer, we find our path. In prayer, we find peace. Prayer is the act of reaching out beyond ourselves. It is not about asking for our own needs to be met, but about understanding the greater flow of life and aligning ourselves with that flow. It is through prayer that we discover the true meaning of existence and experience the divine peace that passes all understanding. So what is prayer? It is the key to unlocking the divine potential within us. It is a tool for transforming our hearts, our minds, and our circumstances. Prayer is an invitation to step into the fullness of who we are, to align with the divine, and to become the vessels through which peace, power, and wisdom flow into the world. Prayer is not just a request, it is a lifestyle, a way of being, a living connection with the source of all creation. Prayer at its core is a powerful and sacred means of communication between humanity and the divine. It transcends the boundaries of religious ritual and enters into a deeper, more profound relationship. The true purpose of prayer is not simply to ask for material blessings or to request intervention in times of trouble. It goes beyond the transactional. Prayer is designed to connect us to a higher purpose, to the very source of life, and to the divine wisdom that governs the universe. Through prayer, we establish a relationship that enables us to tap into the boundless power, knowledge, and direction that are available to us. It is not just about speaking words, but about aligning ourselves with the will of the Creator and finding guidance in the process. When we pray, we express our longing to understand the deeper meaning behind our lives and the world around us. We seek clarity, wisdom, and insight, and through this dialogue, we connect not only with a higher power, but with the purpose for which we were created. Prayer is a channel through which we align our desires with the divine will. It helps us to understand our role in the grand design of the universe. It teaches us that we are not alone in our journey. Prayer reveals that we are part of a greater purpose and helps us to see beyond our immediate challenges, expanding our vision to include the long-term goals of life. When we seek to understand and align with the higher purpose behind our existence, prayer serves as a guiding light. In essence, the purpose of prayer is transformation. It is about a shift in perspective, a realignment of our priorities, and a deepening of our relationship with the Creator. As we communicate through prayer, we begin to reflect on our own lives and make adjustments that bring us closer to the divine will. The purpose of prayer is not merely to ask, but to listen, to receive wisdom and direction, and to be changed by the process of communion with the divine. Prayer offers us a unique opportunity to transcend our limitations and to step into the fullness of our potential. It is a tool for growth, both spiritual and personal. Through prayer, we access the strength to overcome adversity, the peace to endure life's trials, and the wisdom to navigate the complexities of existence. As we seek to align ourselves with the higher purpose in our lives, prayer becomes not just an act, but a way of living a constant process of growth, understanding, and transformation. The purpose of prayer is to draw us nearer to our true selves, to the divine, and to the greater purpose that unfolds in each moment. It is the means by which we build a relationship with the Creator, one that guides us through the ups and downs of life and equips us to fulfill our unique role in the world. Prayer is not simply about petitioning for what we want. It is about learning to hear, understand, and respond to the deeper call of our lives. A personal relationship with the divine is the essence of prayer. It is not about reciting words or fulfilling an obligation. It is about fostering a connection that transcends routine and rituals. When we engage in prayer, we are not just reaching out to an abstract force or distant entity, but rather seeking to commune with a living presence that is intimately involved in our lives. This relationship is deeply personal, unique to each individual, and ever evolving as we grow in our understanding and experience. Through prayer, we enter into a conversation, one that invites us to open our hearts and minds. It is a place where we can express our innermost thoughts, feelings, and desires without fear of judgment or rejection. Prayer creates an atmosphere where vulnerability is met with acceptance, where our human weaknesses are not seen as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. In this safe space, we can pour out our hearts and receive comfort, direction, and strength. In a personal relationship with the divine, prayer becomes a means of connection that goes beyond the external or superficial. It is an ongoing dialogue where we not only express our needs but also listen, reflect, and discern the deeper wisdom that emerges. A relationship of this nature is built on trust and mutual understanding. As we seek to understand the mind and heart of the Creator, we also open ourselves to the transformation that comes from being in the presence of divine love, guidance, and correction. This relationship is not defined by distance, but by closeness. Prayer allows us to draw near to the divine, not as servants who must earn favor, but as beloved children, created in the image of the divine. In this intimate relationship, we are invited to share our joys and struggles, our doubts and our certainties. The Creator is not a distant, unfeeling force, rather. This relationship reflects a deep, personal connection that is responsive to our emotions, our growth, and our circumstances. The beauty of a personal relationship through prayer is that it invites us into an ever-deepening understanding of who we are and who we are becoming. In every moment of prayer, we are invited to explore the richness of our own hearts and the depths of the divine purpose within us. As we spend time in prayer, we begin to recognize that this relationship is not just a one-way interaction. It is a partnership where we are called to not only receive, but also to respond to the divine call and to live according to the wisdom and truth revealed in those quiet moments of connection. Through the intimacy of prayer, we are reminded that we are not alone in our journey. It is a relationship that encourages us to grow in trust, to embrace uncertainty, and to live in a way that reflects our connection to something much greater than ourselves. In this relationship, we find the courage to face life's challenges, the peace to endure difficulties, and the wisdom to navigate the complexities of existence. The personal relationship we cultivate through prayer is the foundation that sustains us in every season of life, guiding us toward fulfillment, purpose, and peace. When we engage in prayer, we are not merely seeking comfort or guidance, we are accessing authority. Prayer connects us to a divine power that transcends the limitations of human capacity, enabling us to tap into a realm of influence far beyond what we can achieve on our own. This authority is not something we need to earn, but rather it is granted to us by virtue of our relationship with the Creator. In prayer, we step into a position where we no longer view ourselves as powerless beings, but as individuals endowed with the authority to shape our realities and influence the world around us. Accessing divine authority through prayer is a recognition that we are co-creators with the divine. We are not passive recipients of life's circumstances, but active participants in the unfolding of our journey. This authority allows us to change the course of events, to call forth the resources we need, and to assert the will of the Creator over the challenges we face. It is a power that is not dependent on our strength or ability, but on our alignment with the divine purpose. Through prayer, we acknowledge the greater force at work in our lives and tap into that power to bring transformation. The authority granted in prayer is a reflection of our identity. As children of the Creator, we are imbued with the right to access divine wisdom, guidance, and intervention. In this light, prayer becomes a means of asserting our place within the divine order, claiming the rights and responsibilities that come with our identity. We are not called to live as victims of circumstance, but as empowered beings who have the right to influence the course of events. Prayer reminds us of this truth, and in doing so, it activates a confidence within us that drives us to take action and stand firm in our beliefs. This authority is not meant to control or manipulate others, but to bring about positive change in our own lives and in the world. Through prayer, we align ourselves with a higher purpose, one that seeks the greater good and the fulfillment of divine will. The power we access is meant to be used wisely and with integrity. It is a responsibility to be good stewards of the authority entrusted to us, to use it to create, heal, and uplift rather than to harm or dominate. As we pray, we are reminded that our authority is not for selfish gain, but for the service of others and the greater purpose of the Creator. This authority gives us the confidence to confront challenges head-on, knowing that we are not alone in the struggle. Prayer provides the strength to face adversity, the wisdom to make decisions, and the courage to take bold steps forward. When we pray, we are not just seeking answers, we are stepping into a realm where we can claim victory over obstacles, knowing that we have access to divine support and the wisdom necessary to navigate difficult situations. This authority also transforms our mindset. It moves us from a place of fear and uncertainty to one of confidence and assurance. When we understand that prayer connects us to divine authority, we no longer approach life's challenges with trepidation. Instead, we face them with the knowledge that we are equipped to overcome, empowered by the very presence of the Creator. In this space of authority, we are called to act with faith, trusting that as we pray, we align ourselves with a force that is greater than anything we can imagine. Through prayer, we are invited to take our rightful place in the divine order. It is a position of influence and responsibility where our actions can create ripples of change that extend far beyond our immediate surroundings. Access to authority through prayer is not a privilege to be taken lightly, but a calling to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be, to carry out our purpose and to live with confidence, knowing that we have access to all the resources and support we need to succeed. Prayer is often viewed as a one-sided conversation where we speak and hope for an answer. However, at its deepest level, prayer is not a monologue but a dialogue. It is an ongoing exchange between us and the divine, a communication that is not just about making requests, but about listening, understanding, and responding to the guidance that is given. This dialogue transforms the very nature of prayer, turning it into an intimate and dynamic interaction that nurtures both our spirit and our relationship with the Creator. In a dialogue, both parties are engaged. It is not enough for us to simply voice our concerns, needs, or desires. True prayer requires that we also pause, reflect, and listen for the response. The Creator is always speaking, offering wisdom, insight, and direction, but we must be attuned to receive it. Prayer, therefore, is as much about silence and stillness as it is about speaking. In the moments when we quiet our hearts and minds, we open ourselves to the divine voice that speaks in the stillness. This requires a deliberate effort to create space, to be receptive, and to listen with an open heart, free of distraction. Listening in prayer is not a passive act, it is an active discipline. It requires us to be present, to tune into the subtle ways in which the divine speaks. Sometimes the response is clear, a deep knowing or insight that rises within us. Other times it may come in the form of a feeling, a gentle whisper of guidance, or an intuitive understanding. The divine does not always speak in audible words. Often it is through impressions, dreams, or even the unfolding of circumstances that we hear the answers to our prayers. The key is in being open, patient, and attuned to these different ways of communication. This dialogue is not about manipulating or controlling the conversation, but about entering into a relationship where both parties have a voice. It's an exchange that deepens our understanding of who we are and our purpose in the world. In prayer, we are invited not just to ask for what we want, but to seek alignment with the will of the Creator, to understand the bigger picture, and to receive wisdom that transcends our limited perspective. It challenges us to reflect on our desires, our intentions, and our motivations. As we listen, we begin to discern if what we are asking aligns with the greater purpose and plan that is unfolding in our lives. The act of listening also encourages us to be open to correction and growth. When we enter prayer as a dialogue, we are open to the possibility that the answers we receive may not always be what we expect. They may challenge us, stretch us, or require us to make changes we may not want to make. But in the dialogue, we trust that the guidance we receive is always for our highest good and growth. It helps us to see beyond the immediate, to recognize the deeper wisdom behind the answers that come, and to align our lives with something greater than our immediate desires. The dialogue of prayer deepens our relationship with the divine. Just as in any meaningful relationship, communication is key. A relationship where one side does all the talking lacks depth, understanding, and connection. When we engage in prayer as a dialogue, we invite the Creator into our lives in a more profound way, allowing for mutual sharing, learning, and growth. It's a partnership, not just a petition, and it fosters a connection that is built on trust, respect, and a willingness to listen and learn. This two-way communication enriches not only our understanding of the divine, but also of ourselves. In moments of listening, we often gain insights about our own hearts, our desires, and our purpose. The Creator speaks not just to inform us about the world, but to reveal truths about our inner world, guiding us toward healing, clarity, and alignment with our true selves. Through this dialogue, we are transformed, growing into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Prayer as a dialogue rather than a monologue also shifts our perspective on God. It moves us away from seeing God as a distant, impersonal force to understanding God as an active, present participant in our lives. The Creator is not a passive observer through prayer. We recognize that God is speaking, guiding, and actively involved in shaping our journey. This makes prayer an empowering practice, one that connects us to the divine presence in real time, constantly directing us toward growth, purpose, and fulfillment. In this light, prayer becomes not just a tool for asking, but a transformative experience that nurtures our relationship with the divine and shapes our lives in profound ways. When we treat prayer as a dialogue, we allow it to become a living, breathing conversation, one that nourishes us, directs us, and invites us into deeper communion with the Creator. It is in this sacred exchange that we discover not only the answers to our questions, but also the depth of the divine love and wisdom that are available to us at all times. Prayer is the purest expression of faith. A declaration that we believe in something greater than ourselves, something beyond the limitations of our understanding and control. When we engage in prayer, we are demonstrating our trust in the unseen, our confidence in the divine wisdom that transcends the visible and tangible. Prayer is an act of faith because it requires us to acknowledge that there is a higher power at work in our lives, a force that holds the answers we seek and the strength we need to navigate life's challenges. In prayer, we express faith by surrendering our own understanding, by letting go of the need to have everything figured out. We bring our concerns, our desires, and our questions, but we also trust that there is a bigger picture, one that we may not fully grasp in the moment. Prayer acknowledges that we don't have all the answers, but we believe that the Creator, who is beyond time and space, does. This act of trust allows us to open ourselves to divine guidance, to be led in ways that we may not have expected or anticipated. It is in surrendering our will that we open the door for something greater to unfold. The act of praying itself is a testament to our belief in the divine. We do not pray to empty space, but to a living presence that listens, responds, and acts on our behalf. When we pray, we affirm our conviction that the Creator is not distant or indifferent, but intimately involved in our lives. Faith is not just a belief in God's existence, but in God's active participation in the world and in our personal journeys. Prayer expresses that belief not through words alone, but through the act of turning our hearts and minds toward the divine with expectation, trust, and hope. Faith is also evident in the persistence of prayer. To pray continually, even when we don't see immediate results, is a powerful demonstration of trust. When we persist in prayer, we affirm that we believe God's timing is perfect. That even when things seem uncertain, we trust that there is a purpose in the waiting. This unwavering trust in the process of prayer reflects a deep belief that what is promised will come to pass, even if we cannot yet see the outcome. The very act of continuing to pray, even in moments of doubt or delay, strengthens our faith and reaffirms our reliance on divine wisdom rather than our own limited understanding. In prayer, faith is not just about asking for things, but about aligning ourselves with the divine will. It is about recognizing that prayer is not a way to manipulate or control circumstances, but a way to submit ourselves to a greater plan. The ultimate expression of faith in prayer is the willingness to accept that what we are asking for may not be what is best for us or in alignment with the divine purpose. This is where prayer deepens faith, when we trust that God's understanding is far greater than our own, and that what we receive through prayer will always be in our best interest, even if it differs from what we imagine. Prayer as an expression of faith also reflects our acknowledgement of divine power. When we pray, we confess that we are not in control of everything. We do not possess the power to change certain circumstances, and we are dependent on a higher source of wisdom and strength. In this surrender, we express our faith in the omnipotence of the Creator, knowing that through prayer, we access a power that is capable of doing far more than we can ask or imagine. It is a demonstration of humility and trust, understanding that our own power is limited, but the power of the divine is limitless. Faith expressed through prayer calls us to recognize that not all answers come in the form we expect or on the timeline we desire. Sometimes God's answers come in ways that challenge our perceptions or even require us to adjust our approach. Faith in prayer involves trusting that the Creator knows what is best for us, and that every answer, whether yes, no, or wait, is rooted in love and wisdom. It is in these moments of trusting God's plan that our faith matures, moving beyond the immediate request and toward a deeper understanding of the divine nature. Prayer is not just about expressing our wishes, it is about acknowledging the profound relationship between us and the Creator. It is a conversation in which our faith is the foundation. Through prayer, we affirm our belief in the unseen, in the power of the divine, and in the goodness that underlies all things. When we pray, we not only express our faith, but also strengthen it, as we recognize that in every word, every moment of stillness, and every unanswered prayer, we are continually invited into a deeper trust and relationship with the divine. Prayer, therefore, is an act of faith that shapes us, strengthens us, and leads us toward a deeper understanding of the Creator's love, wisdom, and timing. Prayer holds the profound power to change the course of events, not only in our personal lives, but also in the world around us. When we pray, we are actively engaging with the divine force that governs all things, and through this sacred act, we open doors to transformation, intervention, and possibilities that go beyond the realm of human effort. Prayer does not simply ask for help or intervention. It recognizes that there is a higher power capable of shifting circumstances, altering paths, and even defying the natural order when necessary. When we pray, we are not simply expressing desires or needs. We are aligning ourselves with a divine plan, one that, when invoked through prayer, has the ability to change the course of events. It is a reminder that we are not helpless in the face of life's challenges. Through prayer, we access the authority and influence granted to us as children of the Creator. Prayer allows us to step beyond the limitations of our understanding and tap into a higher power that has the ability to bring about change when none seems possible. This power is not limited to mere petitions for personal gain. The act of prayer is an invitation to partner with the divine in shaping the world. When we pray for others, for the world, or for situations that seem beyond our control, we are participating in the unfolding of divine will, calling forth the change that aligns with a greater purpose. Prayer is not a passive act of waiting for things to happen. It is an active, transformative force. Through prayer, we can intercede for others, intervene in situations, and ask for guidance that shifts the direction of events in powerful ways. The capacity for prayer to change events also lies in the transformation it brings within us. As we pray, we are not simply waiting for external circumstances to shift, but we are also changing on the inside. Prayer brings clarity, wisdom, and peace, enabling us to respond to situations in ways that may alter their outcomes. Sometimes the most powerful change prayer brings is in our own perspective, helping us see a situation in a new light or giving us the courage to take bold action where we once felt powerless. This internal shift can often lead to external changes, as the decisions we make and the actions we take are aligned with divine wisdom and purpose. Prayer also has the power to open doors that may otherwise remain closed. It creates space for divine intervention in situations where human efforts have failed. Through prayer, we invite the Creator to act on our behalf, calling upon a force that is not bound by time, space, or human limitations. We trust that prayer can break through barriers, heal wounds, and bring about miracles that are beyond our comprehension. It is in this surrender to divine power that we see the most extraordinary transformations occur. Hearts are healed, relationships are restored, and circumstances shift in ways that are often inexplicable. Prayer as a tool for changing the course of events involves patience and faith. It is not always immediate, and the results are not always visible at once. However, prayer operates in the realm of divine timing, which is always perfect. Trusting in the unseen work of prayer is part of the process as we learn to hold on to faith, even when the answers seem delayed. In the waiting, the power of prayer is still at work, rearranging circumstances, softening hearts, and preparing us for what is to come. Changing the course of events through prayer also involves a deep alignment with the will of the Creator. Prayer is not just about asking for what we want, but about seeking what is best in accordance with divine purpose. Sometimes what we pray for may not align with the bigger plan, and in those moments, prayer becomes an act of surrender, trusting that the Creator knows what is best for us and for the world. This alignment ensures that the changes prayer brings are not just in our own lives, but contribute to a greater good, bringing about transformation that resonates far beyond the immediate situation. In essence, prayer changes the course of events by engaging the divine in a way that brings about transformation internally and externally. Through prayer, we invite a force that has the ability to shift circumstances, heal wounds, and bring about outcomes that are in alignment with divine wisdom. It is not only about changing the direction of events, but about changing ourselves, aligning our hearts, minds, and actions with a higher purpose. Prayer empowers us to move beyond our limitations and to trust in a power far greater than ourselves, knowing that through this sacred act, we have the potential to influence the course of our lives and the world in profound and lasting ways. When we engage in prayer, we gain access to an invaluable resource, peace and wisdom that transcend human understanding. In the chaos of life, amidst the noise, the uncertainties, and the challenges, prayer offers us a direct pathway to divine tranquility and insight. It is through prayer that we can step into a place of inner calm, where the storms of life are momentarily quieted, and where we are granted clarity of mind and heart. The peace that prayer brings is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of divine reassurance, a deep sense of knowing that we are not alone, and that there is a higher purpose at work in our lives. Accessing peace through prayer is not about escaping the difficulties of life, but about finding strength and balance in the midst of them. It is the kind of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in a profound sense of trust in the Creator. In the moments when we turn our hearts toward prayer, we are reminded that there is a divine presence that transcends the momentary struggles we face. This peace comes not from understanding everything or having all the answers, but from the assurance that we are held, supported, and guided through it all. Prayer anchors us in a place of stillness where we are able to release our anxieties, fears, and burdens and rest in the knowledge that we are in the hands of a loving, all-knowing force. This peace, accessed through prayer, has a transformative effect on our minds and bodies. When we pray, we engage in an act of surrender, letting go of the need to control, fix, or manipulate every situation. In doing so, we open ourselves to divine peace, which brings healing to our inner turmoil and helps restore balance within. Prayer invites us to step away from the noise of the world and into a space of divine rest, where we can catch our breath, restore our energy, and realign ourselves with our purpose. It is in this peace that we find the strength to continue, to face the challenges ahead, and to walk with assurance, knowing that we are not walking alone. Along with peace, prayer also opens the door to wisdom. In prayer, we gain access to divine insight that illuminates the path ahead, guiding us through decisions, uncertainties, and dilemmas. It is in the quiet moments of prayer that we can discern the wisdom of the Creator, receiving clarity and understanding that go beyond our own intellect or experiences. Prayer connects us to a higher perspective, helping us see situations with greater clarity and understanding, and allowing us to make decisions that align with a larger purpose. This wisdom is not just practical knowledge, but a deeper and deeper understanding of truth, both about the world and ourselves. Through prayer, we receive wisdom that helps us navigate life's complexities. It is the kind of wisdom that guides us in relationships, in work, in personal growth, and in all areas of life. It does not always come in the form of direct answers or clear instructions, but often in the form of impressions, inner peace, or a sense of direction that arises within us. When we pray, we attune ourselves to this higher wisdom, opening our hearts and minds to divine guidance. This wisdom enables us to make decisions that are in harmony with our true purpose and the greater good. It helps us avoid pitfalls, embrace opportunities, and align our actions with the greater flow of life. The wisdom we access through prayer is a wisdom of patience and discernment. Prayer teaches us that we do not always need to rush or force things to happen. Sometimes the most profound wisdom is knowing when to wait, when to take a step back, and when to trust in divine timing. This patience that comes through prayer is a reflection of our belief that there is a larger plan at work, one that will unfold in its own time, and that we are guided every step of the way. In this wisdom, we are reminded that not everything is for us to figure out, and that there is a peace in surrendering to divine timing. When we pray, we are also invited to listen, not just to express our thoughts, but to open ourselves to the guidance that is being offered to us. This listening is an essential component of gaining wisdom. In prayer, we are not just the ones speaking, but also the ones receiving, opening our hearts to the wisdom that is always available to us. Sometimes this wisdom comes in a still, small voice. Other times it comes through circumstances, people, or even our own inner knowing. Prayer enables us to be more attuned to these messages and to apply the wisdom we receive in our daily lives. Prayer is a gateway to peace and wisdom that empowers us to live more fully and authentically. Through prayer, we are reminded that we are not alone in our journey and that the Creator is always available to guide, support, and uplift us. The peace that comes through prayer helps us remain steady and grounded, even in the midst of life's challenges, while the wisdom we gain equips us to make choices that lead us toward greater fulfillment and purpose. Prayer, therefore, is not just a practice, it is an invitation to experience the fullness of divine peace and wisdom, which transforms our hearts, our minds, and our lives. Prayer is a powerful act of alignment with our purpose. It is a deliberate step toward harmonizing our lives with the divine will, a way of ensuring that our actions, desires, and intentions are in sync with the greater plan for our lives. Through prayer, we are invited to pause and reflect on the deeper reasons behind our existence, to connect with the Creator, and to realign ourselves with the divine purpose that is at the heart of everything. It is a reminder that we are not here by accident or without reason. Each of us has been created with a specific purpose, and prayer is the pathway that helps us stay focused on that divine calling. When we pray, we are acknowledging that there is a purpose greater than ourselves, a purpose that is deeply woven into the fabric of our lives. Prayer helps us step away from the distractions and noise of the world, creating space for us to reflect on what truly matters. It calls us to remember that our lives are not merely a series of random events or a pursuit of personal fulfillment. Through prayer, we are reminded that we are part of a larger story, one that has been intricately designed by the Creator. This understanding helps us see our lives through a different lens, one that focuses not just on our immediate desires, but on the larger impact of our choices and actions. In the act of praying, we open ourselves to the wisdom of the Creator, asking for guidance to align our hearts and minds with divine purpose. We may pray for clarity, for insight into what our purpose is, or for the strength to fill it with authenticity and dedication. Prayer becomes the means by which we recalibrate our focus, ensuring that our actions are not driven solely by external pressures or fleeting desires, but by a deeper sense of calling. It's through this alignment that we gain the strength and motivation to stay on track, even when faced with obstacles or uncertainties. When we align with our purpose, prayer becomes the tool that strengthens our resolve and helps us stay true to what we are meant to do. Prayer also allows us to release any distractions or doubts that may prevent us from walking in our purpose. Often, We can become entangled in the pressures of the world or influenced by the expectations of others, which can lead us away from our true calling. Prayer offers a space where we can surrender these external influences and recalibrate our minds and hearts toward what truly matters. It is in these moments of surrender that we begin to let go of the fears and insecurities that hold us back from stepping fully into our purpose. In prayer, we are reminded that we do not have to navigate life's challenges alone, and that the Creator is with us every step of the way, guiding us back to our true path. As we engage in prayer, we are also aligning our intentions with those of the Creator. It's not merely about asking for what we want or think we need, but about seeking alignment with the divine will. Prayer becomes a way to discern whether our desires are in harmony with the greater plan and whether the path we are walking is the one we are meant to take. In this process, we come to understand that our purpose is not something we create, but something we discover and step into. Prayer opens our hearts to receiving the divine direction that leads us toward fulfilling our purpose. We begin to realize that our purpose is not just a goal to be achieved, but a way of living in alignment with the Creator's plan. Through prayer, we are also empowered to act in alignment with our purpose. It is not enough to simply know our purpose. Prayer calls us to step into it, to take action in the direction that has been revealed to us. Prayer fuels our courage, giving us the strength to face challenges and make decisions that reflect our divine calling. When we align with our purpose in prayer, we also align with the energy and resources needed to fulfill it. We begin to trust that everything we need is already available to us, and that as we walk in alignment with our purpose, the path will unfold before us. Prayer becomes both a source of clarity and a catalyst for action, helping us to take the steps necessary to live out our calling. Prayer deepens our understanding of our purpose, allowing us to refine and clarify it over time. It is not always a one-time revelation, but a continual process of discernment and growth. As we pray, we gain more insight into how our purpose fits into the larger picture and how we can serve others and contribute to the greater good. Prayer aligns our hearts with compassion and empathy, motivating us to use our gifts and talents in ways that make a positive impact. Through prayer, we are reminded that our purpose is not just about personal success, but about being part of a larger community and contributing to something bigger than ourselves. Prayer is the key to living a life of purpose. It is a way of reconnecting with the divine calling that is unique to each of us, ensuring that every thought, action, and decision is aligned with the greater purpose for which we were created. Prayer helps us find the courage to follow that calling, the strength to overcome challenges, and the wisdom to discern the right path. It reminds us that we are not merely living for ourselves, but are part of a grander design that is always unfolding. In every moment of prayer, we are given the opportunity to realign with our purpose, to refocus on what truly matters, and to step more fully into the life we are meant to live. Prayer has the remarkable power to transform both the mind and the heart, reshaping our thoughts, emotions, and attitudes. When we pray, we open ourselves to divine influence, allowing the Creator's wisdom to renew our understanding and guide our hearts toward healing and growth. It is in these moments of prayer that we confront the deepest parts of ourselves, inviting change, not just in our circumstances, but in the very essence of who we are. The transformation of the mind and heart is not a passive experience, but an active process where we choose to align our thoughts and feelings with divine truth, love, and purpose. In prayer, the mind is offered a fresh perspective, one that is not shaped by fear, doubt, or the limited understanding of human experience, but by the limitless wisdom of the Creator. Our thoughts, which often become entangled in worries, insecurities, or confusion, are given the opportunity to be purified through prayer. As we direct our thoughts toward the divine, we create space for clarity, understanding, and revelation to enter. Prayer helps us filter out the noise of the world and the distractions of our own minds, allowing us to focus on the truth that God has for us. This shift in focus can lead to a profound transformation in how we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. The renewal of the mind through prayer is not simply about gaining knowledge or information. It is about being reprogrammed to think in ways that align with the divine. When we spend time in prayer, we are exposed to a higher level of thinking, one that is rooted in love, wisdom, and compassion. The more we immerse ourselves in prayer, the more our minds begin to adopt this divine way of thinking. We begin to see life not through the lens of fear or scarcity, but through the lens of hope, abundance, and possibility. Our judgments soften, our critical thoughts diminish, and we start to embrace a mindset of peace and faith. But transformation does not stop in the mind, it reaches the heart, where true change takes place. Prayer is a means by which we invite healing into our emotional lives, addressing the deep wounds, hurts, and disappointments that reside within us. It is in prayer that we can surrender our pain, our grief, and our bitterness, allowing the Creator to replace these heavy burdens with peace, forgiveness, and love. As we pray, our hearts are softened, and the walls we have built to protect ourselves from pain are slowly dismantled. We open ourselves to a deeper sense of love, both for ourselves and for others, and we begin to experience emotional healing that can only come through divine intervention. The act of prayer also helps us align our desires with divine will. Our hearts, which are often filled with conflicting emotions, are brought into harmony through prayer. We begin to understand what truly matters, what is worth pursuing, and what is in alignment with our highest good. Prayer helps us sift through our desires, separating those that come from ego or fleeting emotions from those that are rooted in divine purpose. As our hearts are transformed, we become more compassionate, more empathetic, and more attuned to the needs of others. We no longer live solely for ourselves, but begin to live with a greater sense of connection to the world around us. One of the most significant transformations that occurs through prayer is the deepening of our faith. As we consistently turn to prayer, we build trust in the Creator's ability to guide us, heal us, and provide for us. This trust moves from the mind to the heart, where it begins to shape our actions, attitudes, and relationships. The more we pray, the more we realize that we are not alone in our struggles or in our journey toward healing and growth. We begin to develop an unwavering confidence in the presence of the divine, knowing that no matter what challenges we face, there is a greater power at work in our lives. Prayer also transforms our emotional responses to life's difficulties. When our hearts and minds are in alignment with the divine, we react to situations from a place of peace and understanding rather than anger, fear, or frustration. We are able to approach life's challenges with a sense of calm and assurance, knowing that we are capable of navigating them with grace and wisdom. Our hearts are less likely to be overwhelmed by negative emotions, and we become more resilient in the face of adversity. This emotional transformation is not about denying our feelings or pretending that everything is perfect, but about learning to respond with love, patience, and faith, no matter what the circumstances may be. The process of transforming the mind and heart through prayer also involves a deep sense of surrender. Prayer requires us to let go of our need to control and to trust that divine wisdom will guide us in the right direction. As we surrender our will, we make space for divine transformation to take place. This surrender allows us to release old patterns of thinking and emotional reactions that no longer serve us, and to embrace new ways of being that are in alignment with our divine purpose. It is in this surrender that we experience true freedom, the freedom to live in harmony with the divine and with ourselves. The transformation of the mind and heart through prayer is an ongoing process. It is not something that happens overnight, but is cultivated over time through consistent, sincere engagement with the Creator. As we continue to pray, we begin to see the fruits of this transformation: greater peace, clarity, love, and joy. We are more grounded in who we are, more aligned with our purpose, and more connected to the divine. Prayer becomes the means by which we are continuously renewed, helping us to grow in wisdom, compassion, and faith. It is through prayer that we are shaped into the best versions of ourselves, fully capable of living a life that reflects the love, grace, and purpose for which we were created. There is an undeniable power in collective prayer, a strength that emerges when individuals unite their hearts and minds in pursuit of a common purpose. Prayer in its most intimate form is a deeply personal experience, but when it is shared with others, it becomes a force that amplifies its impact, transcending individual limitations and connecting people to a higher, shared energy. The power of collective prayer is not only in the number of voices that are raised together, but in the unity of purpose and spirit that binds those voices. When we pray together, we are not just seeking divine intervention for ourselves, we are stepping into a communal space of support, intercession, and mutual growth. The collective energy created in a group prayer has the potential to accomplish things that would be difficult to achieve alone. There is a strength in numbers, not in a quantitative sense, but in the spiritual synergy that is activated when people come together in one accord. The presence of others who share the same belief, the same purpose, and the same intent creates a dynamic where faith multiplies and the collective heart beats as one. It is this unity of spirit that draws on the full potential of divine power, channeling it in ways that individual prayer may not. When hearts come together in prayer, they create a space for miracles, healing, and transformation that extend beyond what any one individual can bring about on their own. This collective power goes beyond simply increasing the number of prayers. It is the alignment of many hearts in one purpose that unleashes divine potential. The act of praying together allows for the sharing of burdens, the collective carrying of struggles, and the collective hope for breakthrough. When one person is weak, others in the group can lift them up, filling in the gaps where faith may falter. In collective prayer, individuals become a source of strength for one another, supporting each other in faith and belief. The shared experience of praying together strengthens the bond between individuals, deepens relationships, and fosters a sense of belonging and unity that extends far beyond the prayer itself. The power of collective prayer also lies in the ability to intercede for others, to stand in the gap on behalf of those who may not have the strength or ability to pray for themselves. When a group prays, it can cover a wider range of needs, personal, communal, and even global. Collective prayer has the ability to reach places and people that are beyond the immediate circle of those gathered, extending its influence to far-reaching corners of the world. By praying for others, we not only seek change in their lives, but create an atmosphere where healing, hope, and transformation can take place on a broader scale. It is a way of demonstrating love, compassion, and empathy for the world, showing that we are not just concerned with our own needs, but are actively interceding for the welfare of others. This united prayer also serves as a reminder that we are not alone in our spiritual journey. In a world that often feels isolated and divided, collective prayer binds us together, reminding us that we are all part of a larger interconnected human family. When we gather to pray, we create a shared sense of purpose, knowing that we are not isolated in our struggles, joys, or needs. Our collective voice rises together, amplifying our desires for peace, healing, restoration, and justice. It reminds us that we are in this together, that we are part of something larger than ourselves, a community that seeks to fulfill divine will and contribute to the greater good of all. The collective nature of prayer also fosters a spirit of accountability and encouragement. In a group, there is an inherent sense of responsibility that grows from the mutual support and encouragement of one another's faith. When we pray together, we can challenge and uplift each other, reminding one another of God's promises, and offering the kind of support that strengthens our resolve. If one person grows weary, others can step in and intercede, ensuring that the prayer continues and that faith remains strong. The collective nature of prayer helps to maintain momentum and fosters a sense of spiritual community that is deeply encouraging. In times of crisis, disaster, or great need, collective prayer becomes even more powerful. It creates an environment in which people can channel their grief, fear, or confusion into collective hope, calling on the divine to intervene in situations that seem beyond human ability to change. There is strength in numbers when it comes to collective prayer, as it gathers the collective will and heart of a community, making it more focused and determined. In these times, the united voices of many believers can have a profound impact, creating a force that reverberates far beyond the gathering itself. The power of collective prayer also has a way of breaking down barriers between individuals, uniting people of different backgrounds, experiences, and beliefs in a common cause. It transcends differences and divisions, creating a shared space where people from all walks of life can join together in a common purpose. This unity, born from collective prayer, fosters an atmosphere of peace and reconciliation, reminding us of the greater truths that bind us as human beings. It enables us to look beyond our personal conflicts or disagreements and focus on what truly matters, the shared vision of healing, restoration, and divine purpose. Collective prayer nurtures a spirit of gratitude and worship. As we pray together, we give thanks, honor, and glory to the Creator for the blessings in our lives and the world. This shared act of worship brings us into alignment with the divine, deepening our connection to God and to one another. In the collective act of prayer, we find not only strength, but a deep sense of spiritual fulfillment. Knowing that we are contributing to something larger than ourselves, a greater plan that unfolds through the united prayers of many. In essence, collective prayer is more than just a group of individuals praying in unison. It is a powerful, transformative force that transcends the limitations of individual efforts. It binds people together, strengthens their faith, and multiplies the power of their petitions. It serves as a reminder that in prayer we are never alone, and that when we come together, we tap into a divine energy that has the power to change the world. Through collective prayer, we create a space where healing, miracles, and transformation can take place, and where the love and unity of God can flow freely, touching the lives of all involved. The power of collective prayer is a reminder of the profound impact we can have when we come together in unity, purpose, and faith. It is a powerful tool that transcends individual limitations and taps into a greater divine force, one that can heal, restore, and transform not only our lives, but the lives of others and the world around us. In a world that often feels divided, collective prayer becomes a force for unity, a bridge between hearts, and a call to action for the greater good. When we pray together, we are not just sharing our petitions, we are sharing our strength, our faith, and our belief in a higher power that can move mountains. Let us remember that when we unite in prayer, we tap into the vast and immeasurable potential of divine power. We become vessels of hope, agents of change, and instruments of peace. Through collective prayer, we don't just change circumstances, we change ourselves in the world, one prayer at a time. So let us never underestimate the power of coming together in prayer. Let us continue to pray, not only for ourselves, but for each other and for the world, knowing that in our unity, we unlock the divine potential to bring about the transformation we so desperately need. And together we are stronger. Together we can change the world.